Hey, what's up, guys? It's Shawn once again for my business spotlight of the week. Today I got Dominic Baptist with us. What's going on, Dominic?
What's up, man? Glad to be here.
Glad you're here. So I kind of was supporting you a little bit. I got a version of a hoodie on.
There
Mine's
you
more of
go.
mine's like a muscle hoodie, but I'm
Yeah.
like, I'm gonna have Dominic on. I gotta have a hoodie on, man. So, so anybody in the high level community, especially if you're watching or listening and you don't know who Dominic Baptist is, means that you're probably not keeping up with the community because he's the top affiliate. As we're filming, he's the top affiliate in the world with high level. And I wanted to bring him on the show today because I wanted to get him to tell a little bit about um, what he's doing to get himself out there because I talk to a lot of people every week, and sometimes they either don't know about how to run their SaaS, sometimes they don't know how to attract, affiliates. So I thought, well, let's just get the top guy on. So Dominic, take a few minutes and kind of introduce yourself and tell everybody how you just kind of jumped into this thing. What was it, just last year? Kind of fell in?
Absolutely. Yeah, no. So it's important to know the story from the beginning because I think it actually all connects into why I think I do so well as an affiliate due to relatability, due to people hearing my story and going, "Oh, I feel like I could do the same thing that he did." I feel like, and I love to start from the beginning because I think a lot of people compress the time. They go, "Oh, this guy got so big so fast." Kind of like not saying that you just said that, but it does sound like, "Oh, he just started a year and a half ago." It's like, how did he grow that big? In reality, this story starts way back, way more than a year and a half ago. I've been in the online business venture world since I was 16, 17 years old. I'm 26 right now. So, it may seem like I'm pretty young, but I've been in this almost a decade. And so it by no means was a very fast track to success at all. When I first started at 16, 17, I was in high school. I was arguing with my parents about going to college. I didn't think it was a good idea. I didn't want to spend money on college. I wanted to save my money and make money online. At that time in 2015, when I graduated high school, if you guys, remember at all, depending on, where you guys were in your journey back then, drop shipping was huge. Amazon FBA was really big. SMMA was kind of just getting its start, I'd say, with the Tai
Mhm.
Lopez's of the world and stuff like that. But it was a lot of that stuff was just, hey, you can make money online, you can make it on YouTube. And I was one of those 16, 17-year-olds that was like, I got to get in on this. So for the next 4, 5, 6 years. I mean, we don't have to break all that down. Obviously, a lot of you guys are here for Go High Level, but I failed miserably, at all of those business models. And what they did was they gave me unbelievably tough skin. And I was never afraid of failure ever again because I had just felt like, what's the worst that can happen? I've already failed 19 freaking times. So, and what they all did eventually was lead me to one amazing product that kind of did everything that I had done and failed at over the years, but put it into one perfect box that said, hey, everything you did just led up to this product. You might as well take your chance on it. And that's exactly what I did. And we'll start there because we don't need to go all the way back. But basically what happened was a year and a half ago, probably coming close to 2 years now. We'll sit on a year and a half though. Um, I was at a pretty low point in my life financially, and I had just moved back from Arizona. I lived in Arizona to try to go do my own thing. I live in Springfield, Illinois now, which is where I was born and raised. But I moved to Arizona. COVID happened. I couldn't afford rent. I had to move back in with my parents. It wasn't great. I had just graduated college, which I didn't want to do either, and I got my finance degree, and I'm supposed to be doing all these amazing things, and I just wasn't. And so my dad basically said, and this whole story is kind of crazy. It's like one in a million. My dad basically said, hey, we're not going to help you out anymore unless you go out and get a job, do something. I was too prideful to go back home in my hometown and get a
Mhm.
job. And I'd been always this business guy. I just couldn't make it. And as any entrepreneur knows, it's like, it's a very embarrassing thing. You put in so much work and then you fail, you get nothing out of it. And so that's where I was. And he said, you have to get a job or you're gone. And I said, fine. And after like a week of arguing, he said, just call this one company. And it was a company out of the mall, my local mall. And I said, I'm not going to do it. I'm not working at the mall. He said, just call them. And I was like, all right, fine. So I called them and they said they were doing way more than what I thought they were doing. They were selling on eBay. They were doing a lot of tech stuff. And I was like, they were a custom apparel store in the mall. So I never knew that there were so many crazy things in the back end going on. And I said, oh, this is actually really cool. These guys like are entrepreneurs like me. So I went in, and it'll go down as probably the most important interview I've ever had in my life. They showed me all of these crazy things that they were doing. They were selling watches on eBay, and they were doing over $1 million in revenue. They were doing a bunch of Amazon FBA stuff, and all this tech stuff that I'd failed at. These guys were successful at it. And I just thought, oh my God, I finally have like, my mentor or somebody I could learn from. And my first mission for them, because they saw everything I had done in the past, and they were like, even though I failed at it, they were still like, oh, this guy's got a cool resume, he's clearly a business kid. And they were like, we want you to build us a website. And I said, I never truly built one. I built one on Shopify before, but I had never built a true website before in my life. I had run ads for like drop shipping and stuff, but I still didn't know much about marketing either. They're like, we want you to build us a website. And the first thing I did was use my past experience and go, well, I'm going to do it on ClickFunnels because that's, what everyone was doing. And so I went on ClickFunnels, and as I'm literally about to start the free trial with ClickFunnels to build this custom apparel stores website, I see something called Go High Level versus ClickFunnels. And I was like, what is this? And I watched a video, and like probably a lot of you, I was hooked. I mean, I was like, oh my God, this is insane. This does everything that ClickFunnels does times 1,000. And and this was a year and a half ago. So this wasn't the Go High Level you guys are used to today. This is like the triggers and campaigns Go High Level with like, the old style, not super old style from like 4 or 5 years ago, but still it is relatively newer. I think there was 10,000 users. I mean, we're not talking big stuff at all. And so I immediately got to it, and I got to play around with it that first week. And I remember telling myself in all my business ventures before, there was always a hint of doubt. Like it was always like, oh, maybe it won't work out. With this one, there was none. It was, oh, this is going to work. There's no scenario where this doesn't work. And it was the first one in my life I had felt like there's no way I'm failing at this, no chance, because it was business. It was Go High Level is truly business. I think people describe it as SaaS and describe it as automation and marketing. No, Go High Level is business. If you want to learn about business, you do Go High Level, and you either sign someone up as a SaaS, you either run an affiliate program, you run your own business, which is something we're going to talk about too in this podcast. I have my own land clearing business that I run through it, but we'll get to that. And you just learn about business in general, marketing, building websites, networking, all that fun stuff. So that's what I saw. And I said, I have to get amazing at this. I want to be the best at this. Like I'm a very competitive person. And I never even looked at the affiliate program. I just looked at it as I'm going to start networking. I actually looked at Go High Level to build my own brand, to build my own product, whatever it was. That's what I wanted to use. I didn't even think about SaaS. I didn't even know what SaaS was. And so I started off by just building this company a website. They're paying me $15 an hour, $2,000 a month after taxes. It wasn't anything crazy, but it got my dad off my, what, so that I could, at least live my life a little bit. But it wasn't anything crazy. And they were very supportive of me. They let me work on my own hours, let me do what I wanted to do. And I was going crazy. I mean, I was working 12 hours a day. I was like, I wanted that Go High Level experience so bad, because I knew it's one of those things where you knew this was going to be huge and no one's talking about it. A year and a half ago, nobody was talking about it. So I'm like freaking out, and I'm just learning it. And I'm setting it up for this entire company. I'm setting up websites, automations, this for custom apparel, by the way. So that's really difficult because every order is massively different. So the forms were freaking huge and the automations were crazy. And I will never go into that industry again, by the way, but it was a really, really good start for me, because I was like, oh, if I can do it for these guys, I can do it for anyone. And they loved it. They went from a complete unknown apparel store to being the #1 ranked apparel store in our entire town in about 2 months. And when we had a massive competition, like a company that had been around for 40 years. I mean, they were doing custom apparel for all of when I was a kid, when I was doing soccer and basketball, baseball. They did all of our jerseys. I mean, this company had a monopoly on custom apparel, and just to see that I beat them in like 2 months was like the coolest thing I've ever seen. And that gave me the motivation to go, oh, I can do this for anyone. And instead of getting paid $15 an hour, I can sell it for $300 a month, $500 a month, whatever it was. And I actually started as an SMMA. So I actually went out and was going to run ads for people because that was the most attractive offer that anybody wanted. Nobody knew how to run ads in my town at all.
Yeah.
So I started to do that and go and outreach, and any mutual relationship I could get. I only did local outreach. I wasn't running ads. I was meeting up with my mom's boss, my dad's friend, this person, that person, anybody that I could have even the slightest connection with, so I could get a meeting with. And I did this for about 5 companies until then. like, and after I'd done it with 5 companies and gotten my clients, I quit my job. So I quit that job, and
Mm-hmm.
they're still my client to this day. We're still cool and everything, but I was like, I don't need you guys anymore. I can go do my own thing. And fun fact about that business, they actually wanted 25% of everything that I was doing, and that might go down as the smartest smartest contract I never signed. I said I can do this myself. You guys
Yeah.
help me. Thank you. We have no bad blood, but that went down as like, yeah. And for anyone watching who may be in a position like that, like, oh yeah, contract this and that, just if you think you can do it yourself, or you think that you're very confident in your abilities, just make sure you make the right decision. But there is another story coming along where I take a deal and it makes perfect sense. So, it just depends on how you look at it. So either way, I started to go out and scale. And what I noticed about targeting locally and not niching down, because a lot of people in the industry at this time, like the Jason Wardrops and Christine Seals and Michael Kuchas, they were all saying, hey, you find your niche and niche down, because that's what SMMA was. Like the stereotypical SMMA, you go find a niche, you master that, and then you scale. And that's fine. But with me, I'm sitting in a gold mine in the Midwest where no one knows what they're doing. And I'm sitting here going, why would I niche down when everybody needs this stuff? Go High Level does everything. I was like, I can build a website. If I can build a website for a chiropractor, I can build one for a real estate agent. If I can build one for a real estate agent, I can build one for, a restaurant. Like, I don't see why I can't do that. So, and there are downsides and upsides to doing this, whatever.
Yeah.
But, we can discuss that too. But I went away from what everybody was saying, and I didn't niche down. And I started locally, which is another thing people weren't teaching at all. Were like face-to-face interactions. It was all cold call this, cold call that, which once again is fine, but it wasn't my style. So I did local outreach, not niching down. And I remember when I went into one of the main Facebook groups and posted what I was doing, I got eaten alive. Everyone was like, no, you should follow the script, do everything everybody says. And at that point in my Go High Level journey, it was make or break. Am I going to sit here and start learning from people that I am not really following, or am I just going to stop? And I stopped watching all YouTube videos, and this will come back later when I explain my outcome. I stopped watching everyone's YouTube videos. And once again, no offense against those people, but I stopped watching everyone, and I said, I'm just going to do my own thing. No one's teaching what I'm doing. No one. So I was just going to do my own thing. And I started to just master Go High Level, started to get really, really good at sales. Like I never saw myself as a salesman. I always kind of hated salesmen. I didn't like the tactics that they use. I never liked any of that stuff. I always saw myself as a marketer. And what I found out later was a marketer is just a salesman online. That's really all it is. And so I just became a pretty good salesman around my town. Then the snowball effect started occurring after 5, 6, 7 clients. Those clients told other people. I didn't even have an affiliate program for my SaaS, and they were telling other people. Like, they didn't even care that they didn't get commission on it. They were like, no, you gotta hook up with Dom. He's gonna get you a website, this, all for a good price. And my competition in my town was like old school, like 1990s, $50,000 websites. You're talking crazy numbers. So when you find me, it's like, oh, I'm a breath of fresh air. I can build your site for $500. So it was a completely different space. And so I started to scale, get pretty big, and started to get really well known in my town, and that was a cool feeling. And I was learning so much, like, about business in general from behind the scenes. When you run a SaaS company, yeah, it's cool to run a SaaS company, SMA, whatever. What you're actually doing is you're learning what these companies do to make money, how much money they're making, and you get to see which one do I want to, like, in the future. And once again, this might not be your guys's expectations for SaaS or SMA. I never saw it as a super long-term, like, I'm going to do this for the rest of my life business model. I saw it as a way to fund and learn what I was going to do next with my life. And that was probably real estate, or open my own, like, what if I want to open a restaurant? What if I think that's good? Like, I want to learn about business, and I want to make money, any way that I can. And so what that allowed me to do was see the business models that I hated, and the ones that I was like, this actually makes them a lot of money for a little amount of work, or this, what if the profit margins are good, their leads are coming in. Because the one thing that happened to me that was really crazy was I was making these companies a lot of money, and they're paying me like $300, $500, whatever. And I'm getting mad, and I'm going, well, I'm making you guys this much money, and I'm getting paid this much money. And you realize the leveraging power of owning your own business is like ridiculous. Like, what if you learned how to run your own ads? What if you could do that? Like, then yeah. So then the light bulb went on. Yeah, there's more risk, if you have to buy machinery or this or that, or an office building, but you can make so much more money with that more risk. So one day, and I may be skipping ahead a little bit, but one day, it actually was about February, so it's actually been a full year. My friend came to me, and he came to me as a client. And he was a friend since kindergarten. I've known this kid forever. And he was 24 years old. He said, I'm sick of my job. I build fences on the side, and I make a little bit of money, but not enough to quit my job. I heard you're building websites now. Can you build me one? I said, sure, let's do it. I go over to his grandma's house. We hop on, the computer. I remember this perfectly, like it was yesterday. We build his entire site on Go High Level. We build all the automations in the back. We get his ads ready to go. Within 2 hours, he went from nothing, just a little like side project, to a full business that looked like it had been in business for 10 years. I mean, that's what Go High Level can do. We did it in 2 hours. I mean, we had a Stripe account connected, his domains, everything. Like he's fully ready to go. And within 3 days, he was getting leads, like people that thought he was like huge, massive companies calling him, going like, hey, we're an engineering firm, we can do that, like crazy things for a kid that was just building fences for a couple $1,000 in someone's backyard. And he goes, dude, the power of this is nuts. And I was like, yeah, I know. And he goes, well, instead of me paying you $50 a month, because I was giving him a crazy discount because he was my friend, he goes, let's you want to partner up? And I was a little busy at the time, but I still wasn't crazy. I wasn't insanely successful. I had some clients, I was doing well, whatever.
Yeah.
But I was like, fine, let's do it. Whatever. Let's partner up. And instead of building fences, we went into the land clearing business, and we needed machinery. Machinery costs a lot of money. So he already had one. We needed more. And so we used the one at that time to get our first land clearing job. That first job was like 10 grand. And I remember just being like, oh, this is that big risk versus reward moment of owning your own business. This is crazy. And what ended up happening was, since I was on his team now, I was going full out, helping that company so much because it was partly mine now. And we were just scaling like crazy. We went from complete unknowns in the land clearing and excavation business in 8 months to doing $250,000 and probably on pace for $500,000 this year. And now we have 3-4 machines. We're getting another one. Long story short, it just changed. It changed his life completely. He quit his job. He'll probably never work for another person again. And it's been just one of the most amazing experiences ever. So that was another thing, and another segue we can talk about at some point, is starting your own business, and how my Go High Level journey went from SaaS clients to owning a land clearing business. Like, how does that happen? And then during that time, I started to get on YouTube, because I was like, a lot of things happened. Like everything was just going like in different directions, but they were all based off of Go High Level, which is good. And I had my clients, and I was actually transitioning from an SMMA to a SaaS at that time for time reasons, because I was like, I'm tired of running all these ads all the time. And at this time, I didn't even know what UpHex was or anything like that. That could have helped me with this, but I was running a lot of their ads, and I realized that my favorite clients were my low ticket clients, like $97, $297. They left me alone. I was like, just leave me alone. I built you the system, and just leave me alone. But my $1,000, $1,500 a month clients, those guys they're on you, man. You're an employee for them. So it just depends on how you want to look at it, and once again, that risk versus reward factor. So I started to drop those clients, and I never actually dropped them per se to zero. I dropped them to a SaaS product. So I never really lost any clients at all. I just said, hey, I'm not going to run your ads anymore. I don't have time, but I can show you what buttons I press to run those ads, and the system's just going to take off, and you're going to save so much money.
Yeah. Let me stop you right there, because I want to kind of unpack what you were just talking about.
Yeah, my bad.
You're fine. You're fine. I love it. I love hearing story, because first of all, you're half my age, but you've been doing this for 8-9 years. So you've actually been in the digital side longer than I have, and I'm 53. I was a former loan officer forever in insurance sales. I've been in sales and business development all my life.
Yeah.
And I kind of fell into this. A lot of people that we talk to, like your story, our story is similar. About started local. We wanted to niche down, but we really couldn't, because we wanted to get business. So, but what I wanted to talk to you about then, what you just said, is that you kind of started with building websites, and then you kind of then tacked on a monthly fee to have the system behind it. Is that kind of how it went?
Correct. Technically when I truly started, I was running ads for every client. Like I was complete SMMA, but the systems were already built. The websites were built, the funnels were built. It was like everything that I could possibly do, which is actually a big mistake that I made in the beginning that I talk a lot about on my channel, which is like, don't try to sell them everything. Just, hyper focus on certain features that you can scale. But I didn't know that in the beginning. I was very excited, and I was selling, running their ads, connected to automation, connected to funnels and this and that, and opportunities to have all that fun stuff. And then what I found out later was it always takes like one client. I had a client that was like, hey Dom, we don't really need much. I need it was a shooting range, a gun shooting range. I'm in the Midwest, so there's, these are everywhere. And he goes, I do waivers, waiver forms, but I do them on paper. He goes, I don't want to have a file cabinet filled with waivers anymore. He goes, can you do that online? I was like, yeah, I can make you a glorified form on a funnel page with a waiver. Perfect. Let's do it. And then he goes, and then I'd like for like, I want to text my people. I've never been able to text them. And I was like, yeah, I can give you a texting number, and we can, whenever someone fills out the waiver, it can have an automatic text to leave a review and to get in touch with you. And then he already had a website, by the way, so I didn't even have to build him a website. And then he said, and then the chat widget, and I gave him a chat widget on his pre-existing website. I did all of that stuff. And he was totally okay with $300 a month. And it was the easiest thing I've ever set up in my life. It got to the point where I actually felt bad. Like, he loved it and he was using it, that I lowered the price to 97 because he was my favorite client ever. And so now he gets it for $97 a month. I haven't talked to him in like 7 months. And like, right. It's like, oh, this is like, and then when you talk to people, another business that guy owned, he was spending $1,500 a month on software alone that Go High Level could replace for $100, $300, whatever. And I'm like, oh, that's the truth behind all of this. If you take the software approach, like, you're setting up a system that you don't have to go back in the back end and fix all the time and run ads all the time. It's like, that is where the transition occurred.
Oh, absolutely. And we over here, me and Javier, we talk about it a lot, that, the goal for us would be to get it to where, you're always going to have 20% of them are going to be asking questions, trying to figure things out. But man, if you can get 80% of your people in there, get them good, of course that comes with great onboarding, great support, library, live chat, all the resources, you can get a good portion of them actively using it, learning it, and they know what they're doing. You're always going to have 20% that number is going to be reaching out like, oh, I don't know how to build this form or, the landing page. But that's kind of the goal for us, is to lower that top end down to very minimal, because like you said, you took them from 300 down to 97 because you felt bad. We got a lot of ones that started with us 2 years ago that are still on Stripe every month and never hear from them. And and there's a lot of people that, I think you mentioned this, that just use just one or two things. Like, we've got somebody in Washington State that they use just 2 features. That's it. They don't get into all the other crap, and we never hear from them. And that's so we all want to get plenty of those, and we can. Let me kind of move on to the next question in part, because your background, that's fascinating, how you started right out of high school like that and come out of college is in Arizona. Where were you at in Arizona? What area?
Scottsdale, Arizona.
Yeah, man, that's awesome down there.
It's
so
beautiful.
So you're just talking about, we just kind of went over the your non-affiliate part of it. So you do have a SaaS, a white label. Is that more just casual, you work on that, or do you kind of split your time, affiliate time, your white label SaaS time?
So fun fact, there's like 2 answers to this actually. So when I had got my SaaS company to a certain number, the goal in my head was always 30. I was like, if I can get 30 local clients, because like I said, this was not, I never did Go High Level to get rich, ever. That was never in my head, like, oh, I'm going to get rich from Go High Level. I wanted to get rich from business. That's what I wanted to get rich from. So it was only to basically get my parents off my back, have enough money to quit my job and focus on business. And so 30 clients was the number in my head. I reached it. I was happy, whatever. And that's when I saw this affiliate. I always knew what the affiliate program was, but I would say in about March is where I'm looking at Jason Wardrop, who was obviously the king of all Go High Level affiliates. I mean, no one came even close to that guy. And I'm watching his videos and stuff, and I'm like, this guy's probably making some good money right now. And he's just like teaching Go High Level, and there's not that many people that even know about this. And I didn't, everyone's approach to it was so different than how I would approach it. I think everyone was just going after SMMAs and, which is normal because that's what Go High Level's audience would be. But I'm like, why is no one going after like the people like me that were stuck in the drop shipping age, that were stuck in like the making money online, that want to learn business? Go High Level is way more than SaaS. It's way more than SMMA. So I was like, I want to target that audience, which that audience is freaking huge. huge, by the way. And so I immediately started making videos on YouTube, like immediately. It was like, and I'm just going to talk about Go High Level. I was like, I took a risk, and I was like, it's not going to be the most fun video. It's not going to be, hey, look how rich you can get. And this, it was, I'm not that guy. So I was like, I'm just gonna make videos on Go High Level, like how to build websites, how to do the automation, how to do this. And I started getting views. And when I say views, I mean like 10, 20 views, like nothing. And after about 2 months of posting and posting, as any YouTuber knows, it's very difficult to scale a YouTube channel extremely. I like 2 or 3 months in, I got my first comment that said, hey, can I sign up under you? And I was like, what? And I remember I commented back and I said, I sent my phone number back. I deleted that comment, thank God, but I sent my phone number back because I was such a small creator and I couldn't believe that someone was going to sign up under me. I was like, oh my God, like, instead of Jason or all these big, because I'm going against behemoths, like big people, and like that have millions of dollars in all these courses and stuff. And so he signs up with me, and I was so grateful that I started making videos for him specifically, not for the public. And he said, hey, I need to learn how to do my domain. I need to learn how to build a logo, like all this stuff. So I made video and just sent it to him until his entire account was completely set up. This is for one guy. And those videos ended up being my course that I now have had over 12,000 people in. But that was the start of my course, was just for one guy. And I think that's why it came off as so genuine, because it literally was for one person. And so I realized after building those videos that I had a course and that I taught somebody successfully how to do it, which is what the affiliate program should be about, teaching someone how to use Go High Level so that they can go on and use it. And then you can create passive income through the affiliate commission. It's not just throwing your link out and praying for the best. So I used that course and my knowledge of, I guess, building a YouTube channel to just keep doing it. And that's all you can do in social media, is just keep posting and keep posting. And then one day when everything changed for me, it was April, it was Easter Sunday. I went to church with my parents, with my family. And to give you a little recap of about a week prior to that, maybe 2 weeks prior, I had a client that was a car detailer, and he said, hey, Dom, do you do TikTok at all? I was like, no. I was like, no, I'm never doing TikTok. No way. And he goes, no, you should do TikTok. I was like, no, my little cousin dances on that. I'm not doing TikTok. It's stupid. And he goes, I use TikTok. This guy's like 55 years old. And he's just like, I use TikTok. And I'm like, you use TikTok? He goes, I get clients from it. I was like, no way. Like this is the time in my life where I'm like, there's no way business and TikTok mix well. And maybe I was just delusional, but I was like, you know what, whatever. He kept pestering me. So in early April, so about April 1st or April 2nd, I started my first ever TikTok account, and I started to post very short form videos about Go High Level, which no one was doing, by the way. Like I was the only person doing this. And so I'm like, let's see what happens. And I got a video that got like 1,000 views. And I was like, that's like more than my whole YouTube channel combined. And, even though it wasn't giving me a bunch of traction because it's TikTok, I was still like, that's cool, 1,000 views. So I posted another one, then one got 4,000 views. I was like, oh, cool. Then my ninth video in a week. It's now we're caught up. Now it's Easter Sunday. I'm with my parents. We're at church, and my phone starts buzzing. And by the way, the video was my little cousin. He looks like me, but he's much smaller, and he's like 12 years old. And I filmed him building a website on Go High Level, and I said how a 12-year-old can build a website for a construction company, and it's him building a template, like very easy stuff. But the transition or the angle there was that anyone can build sites with Go High Level and sell them for monthly recurring revenue.
Yeah.
And so that was my angle, and I didn't think anything of it. I didn't think it was a smart market. I thought it was just funny, whatever. And I go to church, my phone starts buzzing, just buzz, 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 and I'm not looking at it. I'm like waiting, because in my head, as a content creator, you always hope to go viral. You hope something happens. Yeah. But you never think it's going to happen ever. I had barely had any followers or anything. And my phone is just buzzing it was the longest hour sermon of my life. And my phone is buzzing. I'm not looking. And before I can pull my phone out, which by the way was hot, my phone was like burning my skin. It was so hot. My sister's boyfriend comes running over and goes, oh my God, did you see what just happened? I said, no. He goes, check your TikTok. And I said, I grabbed it, and I got so many views and just comments. And my phone, I had 180 course signups in an hour. 180 people had signed up for my course in an hour, all from organic traffic. And I had gotten thousands of followers, and my video was just going viral, and everyone was talking about me. And that video ended up getting banned from TikTok like an hour later. So I only got to be viral for a few hours.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, people were reporting it, and we can talk about that too. But a lot of, this happens, and people reported it, and I lost my viral moment, but it didn't matter because I had so many people sign up for the course that it resulted in so many affiliate signups that same week that Go High Level even reached out and were like, who is this kid? Like, how do you go from
Thanks.
nothing
Yeah,
to 100? I think my title in the video was, when Go High Level interviewed me, was from zero, with 0 followers, he went from 0 to 100 referrals in a week, and everyone clicked. It became Go High Level was one of their top videos ever.
sure.
And yeah, it was like, how did he do this? And even Go High Level, like at the back end, the people in the support systems were like, who is this kid? He's support. We have support going crazy. People trying to switch over to his link. Like, what's happening? Who is this kid? And then finally they got in touch with me and interviewed me. And then that's where everything changed. I was like the TikTok kid. I was posting TikToks like crazy. That viral moment was nothing to me. Now I have a video with 4.5 million views. And now I
Yeah.
can go viral whenever I want. And, and that first month was the month I realized how much money could be made from going viral. It's like
Heck
you
yeah, man.
you go from the local kid to the global kid. And then we can talk about that next. But if you have a question or something you want to ask.
I was gonna say, yeah, the TikTok thing. I've witnessed getting them banned or whatever because
Yeah,
you
yeah.
can only say certain things. But yeah, since you started that last year, a lot of people in the community started doing their stuff. I've even done a few of them myself.
Yeah.
We're more active on YouTube now. Like told you before the call, is like I wish that we would have started our affiliate journey when we started our SaaS journey, our white label lead dragon, and this would have been a different conversation today. But the cool thing is that it's still a lot of untapped waters because just
Yes.
like you said, we talk about this all the time. You're 26, you resonate with guys like you and girls like you. I'm 53.
Yeah.
I'm in a different lifestyle, everything. So who knows who we could reach if I would put myself out there even more, and we will. So I'm going to kind of move for time's sake. Let's move
Yeah.
on to the
Yeah.
next one because I'm really curious about this. You're
Yeah.
26, you start making bank. I mean, just
Yeah.
the cheddar's coming. How has the money in itself? You don't have to get into numbers of what you've made, but
I'll
um,
be broad about it, but yeah, I can get,
yeah. But
everybody always wants,
how's it changed your life?
everybody always wants to know the numbers. I'm fully aware. So yeah, that first, I would say that first 10,000 a month, which happened extremely quick,
Hmm.
with everything that I was doing added on to the affiliate commission, making over 10 grand in 1 month. I was like, oh, this is some serious money. And that's profit. I'm only going to talk about profit.
Yeah,
I was like, oh, this is pretty crazy. That was probably the craziest moment I ever had at 10 grand. But I also had the negative side of things. What if all these people die out?
sure.
What if TikTok bans me? I was still very pessimistic about the money thing. But yeah, that first $10,000 a month was the first time I realized, like, oh my God, I might not need to work or this or that, and that was the crazy transition. The next month I did 22,000. So I went from 10 to 22
That's
in
what
a
I'm talking
single
about.
month.
Yeah,
And that was like, oh my God, like now I'm making some serious cash, and telling my parents, hey, I just made 22,000 in 1 month, on pure profit. And they're like, my mom is very pessimistic more than me, and she was still sitting there like, well, we got to take out taxes and this, that, she's that person. My dad was like, oh my God, keep doing it so we can buy a boat and this, and that,
that's right. That's right.
about to
Go, dad. Go,
yeah, yeah,
dad.
yeah.
Thank you.
My dad was very excited. He was like, "Wow," he didn't understand it, but he was still like, "This is insane." But my mom's the other spectrum. And so then the next month was 30, the next month was 50K when I turned 26. So on my 26th birthday, I made 50,000 that month. And that was like that was when it went from, oh, you do pretty well to you're kind of rich. Like you make
Yeah,
a lot of money. Like that's
you got a real business going.
yeah. That's where, and we're talking profit too. So that's where the accountants, the lawyers came in and all the fun stuff where it was like, oh, this is like, that was when I had to take it very seriously. This is no joke. And then 2 months later, I surpassed, and this sounds crazy, but yeah, 6 figures a month. And it's been scaling at like disturbing rates are hard to comprehend. And so, yeah, when now I'll pull in, I'm a millionaire technically on paper, producing
That's
over a
it.
million a year. Yeah. So very, very insane. Everything has completely changed. I'm still very, very cheap. I'm like one of the cheapest people you'll probably meet. that makes this type of money. So, I wear a very similar outfits all the time. I don't have many clothes. I have holes in my shoes. I use coupons at like McDonald's and, stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
Um, the only thing I've really spent my money on was a car that Go High Level actually right here that Go High Level actually gave me with the Tesla. So yeah, I never
That's what
really
I'm
spent.
talking about.
Yeah, I never really spent the money. I'm actually a big investor. I got my degree in finance, and the only reason I got it in finance was because I wanted to invest my money and I wanted to learn about Wall Street and stuff like that. So I've been investing my money a lot. I spend a lot of time with my accountant, and I'm probably the most boring millionaire, 26-year-old
That's
millionaire.
good though, man. I'm glad to hear you say that. And that award back there, how did you get yours? We got the Saspreneur Award and we ain't got it yet.
Well,
They must,
yours is huge.
oh,
Mine
that's
was,
right. So when it comes, just so you know, Dominic, a bad boy, because I don't have any background, I
yeah,
just
yeah, me
do like
neither.
Jason and everything. But when it comes, it's going to go right here so that when we
Perfect.
do these calls, people can see. But that kind of leads us then, because of the money, into the next part. So we'll get here to the end because of
Yeah,
time's sake.
yeah, you're good.
Um, Obviously, you've been with High Level year and a half. We've been with them since November of 2019. We love it. You're top affiliate. We're Saspreneur award winners over here. So equally, we love, High Level. But try to pick out like for future, what do you love the most about High Level? I know we went back into your beginnings like, wow, this High Level can do all of this. I don't even have to get ClickFunnels. But what do you see now for the future of High Level based on you got your, 6 figures a month coming from your affiliate side. Obviously, I'm sure you're still doing good on your white label side as well. What excites you the most and what do you love the most about High Level even
I
moving
think
forward?
I think my answer to that is actually probably not. I don't think I'd pick a certain feature about it. I don't think I'd pick like, oh, the website builder. This I would pick all of it together. What High Level represents to me is, like I said, business and opportunity. I mean, it's kind of ridiculous, like all the things that they're doing and what they're adding in the future. And to play into the future thing, I like the idea of Chat GPT and the AI tools connected with Go High Level. I think that like, for instance, how I see things is simplicity above all. Like how I teach it, I don't want to confuse anyone. As soon as you confuse someone, you lose them. And in sales, you try to keep it as simple as possible. That's why I
Hmm.
think I did so well. I'm the simple guy. You come to me when you want to learn about how to build a website in the simplest way you could ever imagine. And that's how my YouTube channel grew, because it's so simple. So for me, if Go High Level can if anyone off the street could go on to Go High Level and learn it, it's the ultimate platform. And do I think that's what Go High Level is now? No, of course not. It's pretty difficult to learn. It depends who you are, but it takes a few months. It took me a few months to understand it.
Oh
And
yeah.
so if the better they get at that, and if they can, like for instance, like AI, if one day you could hop onto Go High Level and say, I have a chiropractic clinic or something like that, and I want a website that does this, and I needed to say that, and then it just creates the website for you, and you go, can we change the background to green? Can we do this? Can we do, and it
Mhm.
just does it for you. Then there's no need for human beings anymore, but the software itself can still be sold, and you can truly run your own AI SaaS system, which or run ads that way too. Hey, create an
Yeah.
ad that
Yeah.
targets these people. Like this is all happening whether you like it or not. So like,
Absolutely. We're,
that's where I think it's going.
and it's funny you said that because over here we have a white label GPT-3
Yep.
that integrates on people's High Level, and people come to us every day for that. But to kind of like wrap all this up, one where we see a direction too, just like you just kind of alluded to, it's going to get more of like an enterprise type CRM, if you will, eventually. And it's not something like I'm not that techie of a guy. I'm more of the sales and biz side. Javier's the techie guy.
Yeah.
But what we've seen over the last few months, we've taken on what we call growth plan companies to where they don't want to get it at 297 and try to figure it out and learn it. We give them a price on what it would be monthly to build out to structure it, and all they got to do is just make sure they're engaged on the
Correct.
conversation area and pipeline, and that's worked well for us. So I see that future of more of those rather than when we started with it 2 years ago. It was like, how many sub accounts can we get?
True.
Now it's not about how many sub accounts. It's like how many growth plans? Because you said it well earlier. When you start working, of course, I've been in business for over 30 years, but when you start working with businesses, especially as a young age like you, then you can start seeing how they make money, where they mess up, where they're doing well. And then when you get to the next one, you can help the next one better. So then it's just repetition. So we're at that point, like you probably are too, is that when somebody comes on with us and they want to get a pricing on the growth plan or enterprise plan that we might offer, once we go through that list of like, okay, what are you doing? What have you been doing? What do you sell? What's your sales journey? Man, there's so much opportunity with high level at that level that a lot of guys are not even talking about yet because everybody's, like we talk about, they're so concerned about, oh man, if I could just get 100 sub accounts, I can work on the beach
I'll
and
be
I'll be
making,
rich.
yeah.
But that,
That's
but that's not true. Now there are some out there in our community that they got a good hold on it, they got it figured out. But still though, that support, 24/7 support, the libraries, the resources, you got to have all of that. Just like you're killing on the affiliate side. It's not like they're signing up and then you forget it. You're giving
no.
them all kind of resources and backing. So that alone, I know that's what kind of scared us in the beginning, but we followed you a lot, and a lot of other people in the community. Jason, I was on his podcast a few weeks ago, so
Yeah.
we're going to kind of tap into different, I guess, area to try to attract affiliates. So before we go, um, one, if you could just give one tip to everybody to get off the fence
Yeah.
to try to get affiliates, what's your advice? Just
My advice is, well, first I'm going to start off by why you're probably on the fence. The number one reason I see is because of saturation, or you think you're too late to the wave. The answer is you're not at all. And I think that the best advice I can give to someone who thinks it's a saturated business model, or thinks that, oh, I can't learn this or that, whatever it may be, is that with high level, even if it was saturated, even if like the world knew about high level, which I hope one day the world does, it doesn't matter, because who's going to make the most money? Who's going to provide, the most out of high level if everyone does it? The people that know it, the ones that provide the most value are the ones that know it. So if you're afraid to jump on the fence, it's like you should get over that immediately and start learning it, because in 2-3 years, if your worst fears are correct and it becomes saturated, but you're amazing at it, it's like, what, then you're gonna make money on it, like, obviously.
it is.
You
I think
know,
dude, we're in the like you got a different perspective I do, me being older. But I'm telling you, man, this is the pioneer days of this whole
gold rush.
SaaSpreneur effect. And I'm telling you, whether it's how you're digging in, we're digging in, we're over here selling shovels as well, back then. That's where all the money was made, selling the
Yeah, I bring
tools
that
and the
up. I bring that up a lot. Yeah, who got the
sell it,
richest in
selling
California?
selling the shovels. So, we do a lot of build outs for people in the community and consultations and stuff. So there's a fit for everybody. I mean, you're sitting over there killing it with the affiliate side, obviously. We're doing our white label, and we still have people come from the community to us. We do the build outs, different things. So I tell everybody all the time, just jump in. I've got a call here in just a few minutes with a guy that's still on the fence. And guess what I'm going to do when I talk to him again? I'm going to knock him off the fence. Either
Absolutely.
jump in the yard and go for it, or move on down the road, because you're just going to waste money if you don't. But Dominic, thanks for being on the show, man. I'll get you back on soon because I know you're going to continue to grow in different ways, and I'm excited to see where it goes. But I didn't even know that you were at the 6-figure mark, so that's good.
Yep,
Killing it,
yep.
bro.
No, I was glad
Killing it, bro.
to glad to bring that up and to talk about it with you. So
Yep.
thanks
So,
for having me.
no problem, man. Hang tight for just a second. So,
Yeah.
guys, thanks for being on the show. As always, go make some money, go kill it, and hang around. If you're watching it on YouTube or on our website, we'll have more episodes and great guests coming soon. Have a good one.